This is a really good idea. I think doing this with all these electronics around.
Oh yeah. Here, let me. Yep, kill it.
You should do it like a shake weight. This is a lot yellower than I anticipated. This week we come with a cocktail recipe.
Yes.
This is a burnt sugar whiskey sour to celebrate the burning love between Hot Cthulhu and Lego Brick, and also Anastasia Steele's burning need for alcohol, which we honor every week by drinking.
Yes.
And also because we had a lot of submissions.
You were expecting like 50.
Yeah, I was expecting around 50.
I was expecting in the 150 ballpark.
We got closer to 500. It was between 400 and 500.
Learning experience. This is how we grow.
This is how we grow. I feel like I've learned a lot about what literary agents must go through all day, every day.
But here's the thing, you guys brought it. You brought some really good stuff, and
y'all brought the rain.
Incredibly hard for us to narrow it down. And I have to share some of my favorites.
Although I guess we should clarify, like, while we aren't going to name any names here, we're still finalizing who our actual team is going to be. We will share some of our favorite excerpts.
Yeah, we have from James Carmen. "Why are you here?" he hissed. "Why do you invade my dreams?" But I could not finish the sentence. "You're in mine."
"Ask me to stay and I'll never leave your side again." He died 1,000 times in silence that followed. But she turned to him, eyes brimming as she stroked his jaw and breathed the words that brought him back to life. "Stay."
Now this one I love because it's so encapsulated my issues with Anastasia Steele and her priorities with around 50 Shades. "So you're the new heartthrob, eh?" Uncle Neil chuckled as he walked around me, looking at me up and down. Not nearly as many tentacles as the last one. Something cold and slimy writhed in my stomach, and I yanked my hand out of Riley's grasp. "Last one?" I demanded, fury giving me the confidence to look him in the eye. Because she is a sheep. Unless she feels threatened by another woman. But only threatened by another woman. Balanced on the tip of his tentacle was a butterfly. Its tiny blue wings flapped lazily, unafraid. Before I manifested, I saw this as a world of tiny minds, little mortals beneath pity or contempt. But in a desert of countless identical grains of sand, I have found a diamond. Now I know even tiny things can be beautiful. Butterfly. Among other scenes, we got a lot of the pool scene.
Yeah, the pool scene, oddly enough,
was very popular.
Very popular.
Another really popular one was the dream sequence, the opening dream sequence. Some of them were absolutely spot on into the literalness of it. And Adora Lee actually wrote a scene that the literal dream was her imagining herself as Andromeda, chained to the rocks as the Titan or as the Kraken monster was about to like attack her and like devour her. I really enjoyed that. We were discussing changing the name of Penelope to something else.
To maybe Andromeda, which is
after
the appropriate level of ridiculousness.
Yeah, and then her nickname could be Andy. Talking about the literal dream though, a few people didn't quite understand how literal this dream must be. She's with her friend Mike and Jacob's there, her hand's in Jacob's hand. In the dream, "Jacob," I screamed, but he was gone. In his place was a large red-brown wolf with black eyes.
What could it mean?
What could it mean? And then Edward steps out of the tree, his skin faintly glowing, his eyes black and dangerous. Edward smiled then, and his teeth were sharp, pointed.
What could it mean?
And then the dream ends with her saying, "The wolf launched himself across the space between me and the vampire, fangs aiming for the jugular." What could it mean?
That's just the greatest visual though ever, Fame's aiming
The utter lack of subtlety is key.
So one of the more difficult things that went with picking who we were going to go with was some people had some really great submissions. And we did end up going with one or two that broke with convention a little bit, but I think a lot of people kind of went with a more Lovecraftian tone when what we're doing is writing a young adult novel with Lovecraftian elements. So that was a hard line to walk, picking people that got the young adult tone but could include some of the Lovecraft ridiculous purple prose.
Yeah. Get that thesaurus.
Yeah.
Get it. Like it's Blazing Saddles. It's like, excuse me while I whip this out.
Oh. Wait. There aren't that many synonyms for chaos, Lovecraft. You're just gonna have to say chaos a lot. So what are some of the hallmarks of the young adult tone?
I think the most important thing, at least in modern young adult, the point of view has to be from the main character, which gives it some serious limitations. One of the things that bothered me in the Hunger Games was because it's in Katniss's head, you're with Katniss the whole time, and you know exactly what she's feeling, but it makes it super difficult to understand what else is going on behind the scenes, and very often that leads to massive information dumps from other characters.
Which is a huge improvement in the movie.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that...
It's honestly kind of why I like the movie better.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to the story's benefit that the audience knows information that the main character does not.
Yeah.
And in the Hunger Games, it's like, if you're over the age of, 18, you're probably at any given time a good 10 steps ahead of Katniss as she's like observing thing, and you're like, okay, all right, so it's a trap. Okay, so you're being set up. Okay, yeah. Like, so, you're always ahead of her, and she's always playing it like, what?
To me, it becomes a very difficult tense to write because you don't want to play them too stupid.
Yeah.
But this is how you're telling the story. They are the narrator. Like, we were getting some great submissions that were like omniscient third person, and a lot of them had to do with the scene where the female cult leader has captured ethnic third wheel. Obviously, though, a scene like that is going to have to be some sort of pensive or like, or like
someone shows it in a crystal ball.
Like they go to Uncle Neil's and he's like, let's do some reconnaissance on the bad guys. Oh shit, it's that redheaded teacher that's really hot. Oh, and that's your best friend.
The most interesting contrast is Ender's Game, which I can't imagine being published today. Or if it had been published today, it would not be published in the form it was, because for one thing, it follows this kid from about age 6 to 13. No bueno. And for another, there are a lot of point of view shifts. Like, there are entire chapters from the point of view of the siblings, there are entire chapters from the point of view of the teachers. There are a lot of point of view shifts in that book. And at the time it was published as just sci-fi. But now it seems like what the marker for genre is, unless it's really high concept, something like Life of Pi, it's gonna be the age of the protagonist. And in that case, if you are going with young adult, you have these limitations placed on you, and a lot of it is tone, and a lot of it is language, a lot of it's point of view. Even something like Ender's Game, which is not that high concept, probably wouldn't be published now because the publishers are looking like, oh, young adult, change it. A good 25% of the book doesn't have Ender in it at all. It can't be outside of the point of view of the protagonist. It's just not done. At the end of the day, when we wanted people that had a good grasp on that aspect of modern YA.
And we saw a lot of great examples of people who balance the line between the YA tone, but also what
the
makes
Lovecraft, the ridiculousness.
And you guys made it hard. We have begun getting in touch with people, and as soon as we get confirmation from them, we will be making the official announcement, and the writing will commence. Dun dun dun.
In the meantime, we still want ideas on little details, which are what I'm finding to be the most fun. Like when people, like, just this idea that Lego Brick is reading Pride and Prejudice for the 5th time,
or like what Uncle Neil, what is it, Uncle Neil's
his
shop?
Offhanded remarks.
Maybe he wears like bunny slippers.
I think his shop needs to be called Crawling Chaos. So as always, follow us for updates at shayapocalypse.com. Follow us at shayapocalypse and the funny retweet Twitter. Maybe we should change Sexy Alien Book to Sexy Cthulhu Book.
Yeah, can you do that?
Oh yeah. Next week we will have our outline done and our writers probably already getting going. Our goal is to have the entire manuscript written and edited by the end of April. It is April 2nd. Holla. This look on her face.
You're crazy. You're beautiful insanity. That's beautiful
Reach for the
insanity.
stars. You'll still get the moon.
Wait, no, reach for the moon. You'll still land among the stars. That's the code.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
No, you aim for the moon. If you miss, you'll still land among the stars.
Stars are further than the moon. Who said that?